we're good. Feeling confident for next week. Let's get it. It's Monday and I have zero motivation. It's about 2 o'clock. I slept in this morning, gave myself some extra rest. I don't know if it is because I was sick and traveling and just kind of beat down, or if, you know, the new lower temperatures, the really dark mornings, right, kind of that seasonal depression is creeping in. You know, I deal with mental health year round, but obviously as it gets really dark and I get less sunlight throughout the day here in the winter and in the late fall, that impacts me as well. And so I don't really know what's going on. I want to be motivated, but I'm not feeling motivated. I want to be out there, but right now I'm debating with myself whether I should go run outside or just run on the treadmill, because mentally that might be easier for me. So, I think I might end up on the treadmill today, but we'll see. But, anyways, I'm going to time trial here in 2 weeks, and I'm a little bit worried with how things are going with the body just not being 100%, that I am setting myself up for disappointment. Just candidly, but at the same time, I like the fitness is there and I can feel it. I know it's there. And so I was tempted to just time trial before I took off for Portugal, but I just felt like the timeline was too tight. So we're gonna try next weekend, maybe even like midweek next week, just because to do it the day after Halloween might also be setting myself up for failure, even though I've got the young kids. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about this week is Runna. I've been using Runna for, the last little while here to kind of test it out. And that may be confusing for a lot of people because I'm a running coach. Granted, I don't really coach many people anymore. It just was too much to keep up with the content, with the full-time job, with the family activities. It was just one other thing. And if I'm going to do something, I want to do it well. I didn't want to leave my athletes hanging. So I haven't been bringing on new athletes for a long time. And a lot of them have since phased out. And I'm okay with that, right? But why Runna? Why am I testing Runna? What does that have to do with that? Well, one of my pet peeves as a coach was that people would just download these online plans. They'd start running, they'd go couch to marathon, right? And they'd download like a 12 to 16 week online plan that, basically ramps them from 0 to maybe even a 20-mile long run, or like 40, 50, 60 miles even sometimes the week or peak week of a marathon build. And it wasn't an appropriate build for these people. But for new runners who don't know better, who don't really want to spend a lot of money on training, right, and all these things, like they don't know the difference. So they would go and they download these plans, not understanding that you need to personalize it to your own needs and level and durability and all that. Well, maybe the next level to that is the Garmin plans, the Nike Run Club plans, right? Still not necessarily personalized, but maybe a little bit, maybe a tiny bit more personalized. But not really super adjustable, right? And oftentimes really not well constructed. Tier after that would maybe be like a plan that you get from a book, like a training book, right? That is maybe personalized to like mileage, right? Which is a lot better than the other alternatives. And then I see Runna as this kind of other tier, right? And especially because Runna is, for the most part, affordable, I wanted to test it and just see, like, hey, is this a viable training option for people? And there are a couple of things that I uncovered or I've kind of learned with utilizing the app. So I thought I would share them here because I would assume that a decent amount of my listeners have tried the app or are curious about it. So here are my first thoughts on Runna. So for the most part, the base level plans, like if you go and you put in your mileage and a couple of different inputs, they're going to be really aggressive. The plan errs on the side of aggressive, oftentimes giving 2 to 3 speed workouts a week, where the paces themselves are very aggressive as well. The other thing that I frequently see when I put together these plans, or I've messed with the inputs, is that the long runs tend to be very aggressive, sometimes very aggressive in pace, right? And what I've found is if you know where to look and if you know how to edit some of the settings, right, there are advanced settings, you can kind of toggle how frequently you have harder workouts, how much intensity your long runs are going to have, right, how many days a week you're running. All of these things are editable, right, in a way that you can really personalize and fine tune these plans. Now, I think the problem with that is that a lot of runners who are utilizing the app, who are newer runners, are just not going to know what to personalize, what to change, what to look for in the settings. And that's totally fair, right? But I think that the coaches and physical therapists and people who are complaining about Runna are also kind of fighting a losing battle here. Again, the alternative to Runna is not a running coach. The people who are paying for Runna are generally not the same people who would pay for a running coach. People who come to me are not necessarily the people who would go to Runna. However, I think that those who are listening and absorbing and, learning from a lot of running coach content, reading running books, could take a Runna plan and adapt it to them pretty easily too, and know kind of how to mess with the settings, right? But I think that a lot of the physical therapists, again, the coaches who are fighting against Runna, they're saying it's too aggressive, it's causing injury, it's doing all these things. I don't disagree, but I still think that Runna is going to be a better alternative than like a templated plan downloaded online that has zero personalization at all. Right, Runna will at least somewhat scale. Runna will give pace windows. Runna will change pace targets based off of the inputs that you put into the app and your actual running. If you fail a workout or you miss paces on a workout, it should adjust down, right? A templated plan doesn't do that, right? A templated plan is oftentimes more focused just on like volume, and it just overwhelms a runner and causes injury. So I don't know if we've seen a huge change in injury rates since Runna has been introduced. But in my experience, in looking at apps like Nike Run Club, the Garmin training plans, even some of the plans from like Hal Higdon, Jack Daniels, right? Like advanced marathoning, like I don't think that Runna is any worse than any of those. In fact, I think it's a little bit better than most of those plans and those guidelines and things that are already out there that people were using before the app came out. Now, is AI the future for everything? No. But I think it's to the benefit of coaches and physical therapists and people in the run space to get familiar with it and learn how to utilize it as a tool and work with it as opposed to fighting against it. At the end of the day, obviously, yes, a running coach is going to be a better alternative to Runna, usually. But let's not pretend that there aren't bad running coaches out there too. So not every running coach is going to magically be better than Runna. So I'm not sponsored by the app. I am utilizing it. I am enjoying it. I like some of the workouts that they design. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a better alternative. It's at least personalized. And yeah, I think that it's a good potential resource, and it's inviting a lot of people to run. And until I see otherwise, until there's actual evidence that it is increasing injury rates over a lot of the other means that people were using beforehand, if we're seeing injuries increase, I'm wondering if that's actually the proportion of runners that are getting hurt that is increasing, or is it that there are more runners out there, therefore we're seeing more injuries, but the proportion has stayed the same. Anyway, if you're curious about how I've personalized my Runna plan, I'm happy to share and include maybe some screenshots on here of like the different places that I've edited things to personalize it to my needs. And honestly, for the most part, I've enjoyed it. So anyway, there's my rant for today. I've procrastinated enough. I'm drinking some caffeine. I am drinking an energy drink today. So I'm going to finish this off and then figure out whether I'm running inside or outside, because I'm still not sure on that, but we should probably get going. So we'll see you. Hey, it is Tuesday morning, and I am gonna run to the track and get some speed in. I'm doing a pyramid workout, so we're gonna go, I think, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Maybe no 600 though. And yeah, so we're gonna get out there. I'm gonna run over to the track, the local high school, do the run back. Just to kind of save a little bit of time of like driving over. There we go. And yeah, it should be a good bar for how my body's feeling. None of the paces are so aggressive that they should really take me out. So we'll see kind of how this goes. The 200s are 5:30 pace, and the 1,000 is 6:05 pace. So aggressive, but again, should be very doable with rest. The temperatures have dropped like 10 degrees again overnight, so it's 30 degrees this morning. So this initial stage of winter, end of fall is always just really difficult for me because I just am really bad at knowing what to wear. So I've got the long tights on. I'll show you. Got to go way back. Got the Wallaca distance tights on, and also the Metaspeed Sky Tokyo. And I've got the jacket, but I can shed the jacket right once I get there. So we'll see. I just figured it would be better to warm up like this, you know, get the body warm as I run over to the school. I can put it back on the way back. But I'm probably going to be too hot. So that might be a problem. We'll see. All right, I'm taking rest. We just hit our top rep. We're doing good. 1,000 meters, 550 pace. It's pitch black. There's 2 other people here at the track though, which you gotta love. But I feel like I'm gonna finish this workout and it's gonna be pitch black still, so let's go. All right, we are done with the workout. We just got the cool down, gonna run home, shower, and we're going into the office today. My son's back in school. He was on fall break for a few days, so we're back to the normal routine. It is 6:40, it's still pitch black. I'll get home, it'll still be pitch black. It's gonna be like this for the next 4 or 5 months, so. All right, 6.5 miles done. That was a 1.5 mile warm up, 1.5 mile cool down basically, and then pyramid workout. So 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 800, 600, 400, 200, with decreasing speed. So starting fast, or pyramid. So starting fast, slowing down a little bit, and then finishing fast. So top reps were done. I mean, my very last 200 was done at 4:30 pace, I think. But everything else was pretty much done. I think it was like 5:30, 5:40, 5:56. Stayed at 6, but everything, I think I kept everything under 6 for the most part, but tried to hit the increasing and decreasing paces. I get it. I get the hype with this shoe. I'm thinking right off the bat that this is the biggest improvement over previous models, in my opinion, right? So the Metaspeed Sky Paris was a really good shoe, but for me, it was a little bit stiff, pretty unstable. The upper was kind of baggy, but it was definitely a top pick. Like, you see a lot of people racing in that shoe still. At least for me, the integration of FF Leap and then a more streamlined yet equally breathable upper, right, is huge. And then you have less of kind of a spoon shape in the Tokyo versus the Paris. And I'll do a comparison. I'll actually do like a full breakdown between the two. But the Paris, it kind of had like a really thin midfoot and then like kind of even equally as thin heel. The Tokyo just is a little bit wider. It's more stable. And then the integration of that FF Leap, man, these are fast. They don't turn the corner as tight as I would like. And I still think maybe the Puma R3, Fast R3 is going to be better on a track. But this captures, I would say, like 80% of what the Metaspeed Ray can do, but in a much more approachable and sustainable package. Durability-wise, should be significantly more durable, because I think my Metaspeed Rays, if I'm being honest, I think they're already starting to bottom out, and I only have 34, 35 miles on them. So the Tokyos, big fan. I think this is, you know, last year I thought the Paris was best for like sub-elite and elite runners. The Tokyo, I think, could be used by like the everyman. I think that, and that's not a shot at it, by the way. Like, I think that there is so much assistance in this shoe. Really, really awesome job. Really awesome job by ASICS. Very impressed one run in. Again, ran to the track, ran back. So everything from like 9-minute pace all the way to 4:30 pace. Felt good, in control at every single one of them. At slower paces, it's a little firmer, but still not firm. Much softer than the Paris, in my opinion. So, Metaspeed Tokyo. It's a good shoe. All right, it's Thursday, and if I'm being honest, it's getting a little bit harder to create content for the weekly vlog. One is because I want it to be interesting, and I just don't know that everything I show is always interesting, but
Yeah, I guess let me know in the comments if there's topics or things you guys want me to cover. But the second reason is because I can't get any running footage because it's pitch black out while I run now. So, you know, I just like, there's no point in setting up my camera as I run by and stuff. But anyway, we're doing over under 400s today. Just honestly a kind of short speed workout just because we're tapering into the 5K time trial next week. I'm not intimidated by the paces today. I am just kind of tired. It's just been a busy week. Tuesday, my son's piano recital. Yesterday, my son's basketball game. Today, there's a friend's birthday. Tomorrow, we have a work Halloween thing. Saturday, my kids have like a recital or practice or something. And then Sunday is like our only like more chill day. So yeah, it's just kind of that time of year where there's just like a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on, and it's only going to get worse makes it sound like bad stuff. It's only going to get busier with that, and that's just kind of life. I haven't edited any longer form YouTube stuff this week because usually I do that when I put my daughter down for bed at night, and this week I just have been super busy with stuff at night or just like really tired. So I still need to do that and get that taken care of. Normally I try and get stuff scheduled out almost 2 weeks in advance just in case I go out of town or I'm busy. So I need to get that done. But yeah, just been a busy couple of weeks. So, but I'm excited. Yeah, I'm time trialing next week. I feel good about PR. I'm gonna get my tattoo next Saturday. So we're going right here on the right forearm. Then we're into marathon training. I've got the running event the first week of December. I might drive to San Jose for Thanksgiving to see my sister. Christmas we're planning on staying here, and then it's 2026, guys. So it's crazy how fast time flies. But yeah, overall, like, so far this year, I'm proud of myself for doing everything I do on YouTube. I made a goal to be able to, post one video per weekday, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna do it. And then also, we're closing in on 10,000 subscribers, which is really cool. That was one of the other goals for the channel this year. I wanted to cross that 10,000 threshold, and we're almost to 9,000. So appreciate all of you guys who are watching this, especially the reviews. Obviously I really enjoy the reviews. They're a lot of fun. This right here is kind of the passion project, though. It's like what I want to learn how to be better at is storytelling and the vlog and all of this, and I'm not good at it yet, but I'll get good at it. So for those who watch today and already, like, it's cool. It's pretty cool. So I appreciate it. But anyway, I'm already running late. Just could not get out of bed. But let's go get this done.
All right, workout portion complete. Crushed the paces. Feeling good. I didn't sleep well last night. I think I only got 5 hours of sleep, but it was worth some extra time with my wife. So we stayed up watching some TV, which we rarely do. We just haven't had a lot of us time lately. So glad we did that. And anyway, just gonna hit the cool down and we're good. Feeling confident for next week. Let's get it. Good morning. It's Saturday and we're gonna run like 7.5 miles, something like that. So taking it easy today. Deloading this week. Should finish with about 40 miles maybe. And yeah, then it's time trial week. So just trying to get fresh between travel and getting sick and all the stuff that I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing of. I just haven't been 100% for the last few weeks. So I want to give myself a shot. And then it's the marathon build. So absolutely crazy, but time flies. All right, 7.5 miles done. I was feeling pretty sluggish to start, not gonna lie. I slept like 6.5 hours last night, but the body, for some reason, I woke up and just feeling it. I don't know, I did have a quesadilla and chips and queso like right before bed and went to bed way later than I normally do. That's probably why, but still a little bit surprised. But anyway, I'm gonna give it a sec and then we'll give the weekly summary and a quick update on feelings of the Vomero Premium. All right, there's the week. We're about 40 miles. I think it's about 6 hours. I haven't seen it yet, so I was take a screenshot after on my Strava and put it on there after. So don't quite have the details just yet, but quick update. Vomero Premium. I keep saying Pegasus Premium. Vomero Premium. This shoe is pretty crazy. First few runs in it, I didn't quite get the hype. I didn't understand. I just felt like it was really, really cushioned and heavy, which like reminded me of kind of like the Glycerin Max and less of something like the Superblast, or less of something like the even like the original Super Comp Trainer. But after the last few runs, I do get it. I'm still gonna say it's still not my favorite, and that's just because of personal preferences, right? But it's still not my favorite. It's more unstable than you would think. I think with the wide base and just that stack, and even the AirPods, I think people are assuming this is a stable shoe, and it's not. The Vomero Plus is much, much more stable. I'll do a full comparison or breakdown between the two, but the Vomero Plus is much more stable. Even the Vomero 18 is much more stable. This is less stable, a little bit more chaotic, but with that, it is more responsive and bouncy probably than the other two. The only downside to that is it is heavier still. So it's interesting. Like I just ran 7.5 miles at a 7:45 pace, basically progressing throughout. Started in the 9s and the 8s, and then towards the end there, I mean, I ran the last 1.5 or 2 miles around like a 6:55, I think, or a 6:50, and these handled it well. I mean, it's not like I felt like I was flying by any means, but they're bouncy, they are responsive, and especially if you don't mind the weight of a shoe, yeah, these are nice. Everyone says they kind of save the legs. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cushion underfoot, but cushion doesn't just all save the legs, because if it's an unstable platform, which I think these are, then you end up kind of wobbly too. So look, I get it. I still think they're overpriced, and I'll talk about it in the full review again, but I do think that the premium line is meant to be that, right? It's meant to be premium. It's meant to be kind of, you know, I'm not gonna say like a hype shoe or a collector's item, but it's meant to be like, it's meant to be kind of special. And so it's okay that it's not, like, it's okay that it's priced at what it's priced at, but I think sometimes people confuse price with performance, and I don't think it has the performance of the price, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm gonna get inside, gotta get ready for the day. We got kids activities, so hope you guys have a good week. We'll see ya.